Okay, so Coach Justin here. We got legs today. We're gonna grow these chicken legs, all right? Yeah, it's kind of crazy, like honestly, since
Hey guys, Nick the trainer here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we got legs on the agenda. Just really, it's gonna be a good turnout.
He's gonna regret that whenever we get to squats and he's begging me for a spot. Because he has to hit the same weight I do. That's the...
Not true.
We'll see. But yeah, that's kind of what I was gonna say is like, since starting my cycle, my legs have definitely come up the most, I'd say, at least as far as strength. Like my strength is blown up. I was hitting like, what, 3 plates and a quarter before I hopped on anything, and then once I got
I think
on,
it was just a plate and a quarter.
or just, okay, like 3 plates.
He added like 4 plates on each side of just everything. It was crazy.
I started at 3, I think.
For
Like our first week on the hack squat, like 3 plates, maybe 3.
That was like your top set.
Yeah, so
and
point
you
is
off what, 4 and a quarter?
Yeah, so like pretty heavy fucking.
Yeah, strength is there. Only week 7 on cycle. Yep, 500 tests. And like it's, I mean, to be honest, guys, it's not magic.
We've been pushing it.
Yeah,
we've been fucking pushing it.
I know a lot of dudes who run 3 times as much gear and don't see nearly the amount of strength or size gains that Justin's made. It really all comes down to the full recipe. You know what I mean? The full recipe. You can't.
Right. Gotta optimize.
You can't have one
training,
fire
nutrition.
ingredient.
Yeah.
And expect to make a good cake. You know, you need everything else to work off of that ingredient. You know what I mean? So
100%. So we're gonna take this shit to the next level, guys.
Something like that.
And yeah, so let's get warmed up and then crush this shit. Hold on, let me check.
Okay, squat machine.
Oh, squat machine, 3x15. Whew, time to destroy myself. Did you even hear me? Fuck these masks. Drop for this set. Is it 4x fail? Yeah. So we got 4x failure, standing calf raise. What are you shooting for, like 8 to 12?
Real fucking failure.
Like 8 to 12, yeah, like real failure. I'm gonna finish with partials to like make sure I'm failing. Like,
So the thing is, I picked up that weight shooting for like 8 to 12, but I got to 24 because it was just too light. But I didn't say, oh, I'm not gonna do the set. It's a set to a failure. Unfortunately, I just had to do way more to get to failure. So I'm
point
gonna
is go to failure even if it starts out too light. But then, I mean, me personally, I'm gonna shoot for 8 to 12.
Right.
Wondering like why we're hitting calves second, and that's 2 reasons. For one, let's be real, everybody slacks on calves, especially when they're at the end of the workout. 2, it's just nice when, especially after a really fatiguing couple sets like that, it's nice to get a little bit of a breather, and then we're about to hit it super hard on the legs again. All right guys, so we got Smith machine split squats, 2 sets of 8, 10 reps each leg. Yeah, it's gonna hurt a little bit, I think. guys, so we're getting into some heavier weight here, 3x5 reps of squats, just doing 1 or 2 acclimation sets. Gonna shoot for at least 315, just see how much we can push. Like obviously it's not gonna be as much weight as you could typically push hitting squats at the beginning of a workout, but this is just like, you know, focusing volume first, weight later in this kind of workout.
Baby. Woo. That bar's too big. God damn. It made you shake on the way. The bar made you shake on the way down.
Oh, I know, dude. It was like
that bar is not it.
Well, it's
that
also
boy getting strong. Shit.
All right, guys. So we're moving into some isolation here. Pretty much done with all the compounds. Getting leg extension, 3 sets of leg extensions and adductors, 20 each. It's gonna feel nice.
Adductors are one of those. Honestly, fellas, especially if you're doing like bodybuilding and ladies, if you guys compete like bikini, bodybuilding, classic, anything, probably the #1 underdeveloped muscle in a back shot is the adductors, I think. Literally. So if you don't usually train those clompers.
Gotta get them nice and strong.
No means no, damn it.
But yeah, seriously, overall development, like every muscle group is important.
Especially your dick.
God damn it. Oh. It's actually kind of heavy. All right, guys, so finished that leg workout, and you know, I want to give a couple updates here. Like one on my cycle. I haven't really talked to YouTube about my cycle. I've mentioned it here and there, mentioned it at the start of this workout, but I did want to kind of provide you guys some more details. And then 2, just about the workout split. Like I'm sure you may have noticed, our workouts for the past like 4 to 6 weeks have been the same, you know, sticking to the same training block, trying to get stronger within that training block. It was a little bit heavier, a little bit more intense. This is more of a higher volume training block, but it's introducing a new stimulus, you know, and that's going to allow us to recover in the long run, not just like hammering down like super heavy weight. Like obviously I still worked up to 405 for 5 after all that, but in retrospect, it's not as heavy relevant to me and how much weight I could push otherwise, right? So anyway, getting more into the cycle. Like I've always said, I want to keep it real with you guys, and I always said that when I did hop on, I would let you guys know, and I made an IG post about it, but I did want to cover it in a little bit more detail here. So for one, whenever I started up with Nick, like it was coming out of quarantine, coming from out of moving, and like a lot of inconsistency. So we started, like our first 8 to 10 weeks was all about optimization, right? Getting back on a consistent training regimen. Since then, literally the past like 13, 14 weeks, training has been perfect. The consistency has been 100%, left no stone unturned with training. As far as macros and getting nutrition optimized, I've hit my macros pretty much every single day. You know, of course, there's a few days here and there where tracking is a little bit more lax, but basically hit my protein, my calorie goals 99% of the time throughout this whole period. And then once we were about 10 weeks in, we introduced, like 8 weeks, more like 8 weeks in, 9 weeks in, we introduced the test. So we're just starting with tests. You know, I don't really see the point in introducing 2 compounds when I don't even see how one compound is affecting me, right? So I always, like, my mindset behind this is to use the least amount of drugs possible to achieve the most results, and it's already paying off. Like in these last 13, 14 weeks, I'm averaging like almost 2 pounds up per week. I've added like 17-ish pounds so far. And a lot of that has come just in the past, like I'm a full six weeks into cycle now, going into my 7th week, and the size is just packing on. I'm getting stronger every single week. Really minimal fat gain, if any. Like I'm staying the same amount of leanness. We've been upping my calories every single week for at least the past 3 to 4 weeks or so, because my body is just soaking it up and responding so well. But guys, like Nick is talking, obviously Nick is the more experienced one when it comes to this side of things. That's why I hired him as my coach, aside from just trusting him and him just being a close friend. Like he knows a lot more, and like not everybody is going to respond this way, especially when you aren't optimized and you aren't somewhat near your genetic potential, at least, in my opinion. Like, of course, genetics play a role as well. But yeah, like my hope is, I don't want to inspire people to just like hop on roids. I want to inspire people to get the most that they can out of their natural potential, at least to an extent. If you realize for sure you want to chase bodybuilding, that's your passion. Like, to be completely honest, I would have hopped on 2 years ago if I could take my exact same mindset now to 2 years ago. Overall, I'm glad I didn't hop on, because I didn't have the same mindset, and I don't think I would have gotten this level of anabolic effect, just because my optimization, my consistency just wasn't there, and I don't know what path that would have taken me down. But if I could take the mindset I have now back, I would have done it then, just because I realize now I am willing to do whatever it takes to go as far as I can in the sport and get onto that Olympia stage and fucking win, So, yeah, I hope I don't encourage anybody to like just jump into it and like, I researched this and resisted the temptation for a long time. And part of that was definitely like an ego thing of wanting to hang on to that natural status and like being afraid of being judged and stuff. But, finally reaching that point where I just don't care, and I'm doing this for me, but yeah, just to kind of, that's kind of like the gist and context. But just to add a little bit of detail of exactly what we're doing, like we mentioned at the beginning of the workouts, I'm just running 500 milligrams a test, so 250 twice a week. Obviously, I'm not going to go in crazy detail. That's how I do it. Like, I'm not a doctor. This isn't medical advice. This is just what I'm doing, and it's working extremely well. Obviously, down the line, we might introduce a second compound, but the plan for right now is just test, do this 16-week cycle, cruise down to a TRT dose for, I forgot what Nick said, but 2 to 3 months, just to let my hormones kind of recover a little bit, my body recover. Because obviously, like when you're blasting tests, it does take a toll on your body. You want to be careful and get blood tests and stuff. So we're going to cruise and then blast again and prep for a show. And the plan is to just requalify for nationals, try to get that pro card, and then step on the pro stage. So that's the game plan right now, guys. That's what I'm doing. And that's pretty much it. I just want to let you guys in on my process. So we're going to end the video here. Appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you got something out of it. Feel free to ask questions or, recommend a future video in the comments. Like the video if you got something out of it. Subscribe if you like me somewhat. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time.